What's going on, everybody? Just wanted to come back and start off your weekend with just a little quick review on the Snyder Cut of Justice League. I've been meaning to do this video since the movie came out the other night. The fact that it came out at 2 a.m. and I watched it until 6:30 in the morning, I had to digest it a little bit, give it like 24 hours to kind of rethink it and, kind of look up some things about it and see what the future is holding for the Justice League and the DC universe as a whole. So I want to make this quick, want to make it easy, want to get everybody to their weekends. Maybe you guys have been on the fence about watching it or not. It is 4 hours, like I said. It's going to take up a chunk of your Saturday or Sunday or whatever you're doing. So I'm just going to dive right into it. It's pretty good. It's not bad at all, honestly. And that's saying a lot, especially for DC right now. Their movies have been kind of on a slope. You know what I mean? It's been kind of a downward slope, and it sucks to see. I would say Shazam was okay. Joker was really good, and then Wonder Woman and Birds of Prey were kind of on the lower end. I liked Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey was very similar to this, where you could tell that they had a lot of lore to give us, a lot of stuff to give us, and a lot of fun stuff to go along with, and just get some fans involved a little bit more. It still wasn't the greatest movie in the world, though. The original Justice League, the 2017 one, which is the hour and 45-minute cut of the version that we just got the other day, absolutely terrible. It was just a terrible film. It was terribly paced. It was a lot like Batman versus Superman, where it was just like something would happen, and then the next scene it was slow and boring, and you didn't understand why it's so slow and boring. And then the next scene there's a fight scene, and it's slow and boring as well. It's just really bad pacing. And personally, for me as a moviegoer, I don't like bad pacing. I want my film to be, I'd rather have less fight scenes in it if it's got better pacing. If they have to cram a bunch of fight scenes in there and ruin the pacing, that sucks. I don't want to see that. I want to see a good story first, and then I want to see some action after. With that being said, this is Justice League. This is DC. We want to see Batman. We want to see Superman. We want to see all these characters fighting. It's just, it hasn't been that well put together, it seems like, in the DC universe as of right now, in the cinematic universe that they have going on. But I will say this 4-hour cut of the Justice League was kind of what I was looking for, honestly. It gives us a lot of detail about what we've been speculating on when it comes to this universe. How long has Batman been Batman? Why is he like so brutal now? Why, all these things that you have questions for, they pretty much answer them in this movie. Obviously, this movie's going to take place between Batman versus Superman and Justice League. Obviously, Superman at the end of Batman versus Superman. If you haven't seen that movie, I would say you should probably watch Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman before you watch the Snyder Cut. If you don't, it's not that big of a deal. It'll just give you a lot more context on what's going on. Pretty much at the end of Batman versus Superman, Superman dies. Him and Doomsday kill each other, which is perfect. That's a cool comic book story. The death of Superman was awesome. Justice League Snyder Cut picks up right where Batman versus Superman leaves off. It literally just starts right up, and I think there might be like maybe a month or so in between that we don't see, but it's, after Superman dies, the world starts to kind of go into chaos a little bit. Point is, this is still the original 2017 Justice League, just not as horrible. It's not as cut up. It's not, you can tell, like, it's like the 2017 version was literally like a Frankenstein creation, man. Like, they literally, like, you got the bolts in the neck and like the fucked up face. It's all fucked up. And this new Justice League, the Snyder Cut, this is exactly what fans deserve, in my opinion. I'm a huge DC fan, huge Marvel fan. It gave me everything I was looking for personally. I will say the pacing in it is still a little off. It is a little boring sometimes. You'll have like 2 hours of just straight up talking and just lore that's being given to you. If you're into it, you're into it. If you're not, it's not going to be that good for you, honestly. One of the problems I have with it is some of the fight scenes. Obviously, they're copy-paste from the original Justice League. About the only things that they kept in the original one were the fight scenes, the glamorous scenes, the big scenes. That's really all they kept in the original version of it. So you're going to still get all of those. And I think that's why the fight scenes might have been a little more boring for me, honestly, because I've already seen them in the previous movie. But we're getting a lot more context, and I love getting more context and more structure in this universe. I'm going to try not to spoil too much here. Like I said, I want to make it kind of quick. I'm already at the 5-minute mark. So I got to say, it's a fun movie to watch. It's fun to watch with a friend. If you got a friend that's into like this kind of stuff, like the DC stuff, you guys will definitely get down with this. It's really fun to like look at, and it's really fun to just watch. It is rated R, so I don't know if you want to let your kids watch it or not, but it's not rated R for sex or anything like that. It is definitely rated R for blood, and there are a couple uses of the word fuck. I mean, take that how you want to take it. I say fuck all the time, fuck, but like it's, it is said a couple times. That's something I do like. I like that DC is going into a more dark R-rated version of their comics, and I think DC personally, I always thought Marvel was more of like the golden child of comics, and I always thought that DC was kind of the redheaded stepchild that nobody likes type of thing. No offense to redheaded people, but you're soulless. So pretty much, it is rated R. There are scenes in the movie where, for instance, there's a part where Wonder Woman is de-escalating a bank heist, and when I say de-escalating, I'm very much underappreciating what she did in that scene. She literally will punch somebody, and instead of them just taking the punch and trying to hit her back, they fly 30 feet. Like, she punches, they fly 30 feet, they hit a wall, they die. Like, these superheroes in this movie are killing each other. Like, they're killing people, and like, it happens. Some of Darkseid, he's the bad guy in this one. Well, Steppenwolf is actually the bad guy, but Darkseid is the Thanos of this universe, technically. His little minions are like these mosquito-looking motherfuckers, and they're stupid-looking. They really are, but they're pretty much the gore of the movie. Like, there's parts where like they're getting chopped in half. Batman grabs an assault rifle and he's blowing their brains out. Like, it's a lot of stuff. They did a really good job when they add these extra scenes. Zack Snyder did a really good job at giving us, like I said, structure and context to an already pretty cool idea that he had. They just couldn't capitalize it between him having family issues and not being able to finish the movie and everything. Point is, that's a long story. It's a lot of stuff to go into, but from what we know right now, my biggest gripe with this is that it's not going to go anywhere, so it's kind of a waste of the 4 hours. It's more of just like a fun, hey, this could have been really good type of movie, you know what I mean? And it is a good starting point if DC and Warner Brothers really wants to move on without Zack Snyder, and Zack Snyder apparently doesn't want to do any more DC. Perfectly fine. If you don't know who Zack Snyder is, he did Watchmen, 300, Batman vs. Superman, Man of Steel, all of those movies. He's a good director. He has a couple little things he does in each of his movies. He's kind of like a Michael Bay, where you kind of expect little things that he does to be in the movie. For instance, like Michael Bay likes to do the explosion thing, where like there's just explosions everywhere for some reason. He's a fucking pyromaniac. Zack Snyder's a big slow-mo guy. If you've seen 300, you know all about slow motion. Like, it's all just a bunch of cool, badass, buff dudes being in slow motion type stuff. That happens a lot in this movie. It kind of slows down a lot of the fight scenes sometimes, but sometimes there's some cool scenes. Excuse me. Without spoiling it much, like I said, I'm trying to keep this a little short for everybody. The movie is in segments, kind of. It's in chapters. I think originally because HBO wanted to make it a 4-part series so that people would have to subscribe to HBO Max. Zack Snyder didn't want to do that, so it is separated by chapters, but it's one full 4-hour thing. So like you'll go chapter 1 and that's like an hour and a half, chapter 2 it's like an hour, chapter 3 and so on and so forth. There is an epilogue in this movie. They did change, like not change because it was originally the idea, but pretty much they made an epilogue, and that's where you're going to see the Joker and all of the stuff happening. That's really, really, the epilogue is really what the fans wanted to see, and that is the best part about it. Unfortunately, the movie does end in a really good cliffhanger. Like I said a couple minutes ago, we're probably not going to get any more out of this version of the Justice League. From what I've been reading and what I've been told, Warner Brothers and DC, they are completely taking these characters in a completely different direction. So after the Snyder Cut, so depending on the word of mouth and how, the amount of people that came forward and hashtag the Snyder Cut, release it, and all that stuff, it is a very powerful movement that actually worked, and it's really cool. I don't think we're going to be able to convince Warner Brothers and DC to continue with what the story he wanted was, but we got this much, and I'm happy that we at least got this much, because personally, I loved Man of Steel. I thought it was a really cool movie. I love it when they can take a character that nobody really cares about. Like, everybody loves Superman, you know what I mean? Personally, I think Superman's fucking stupid. He's just dumb, you know what I mean? Like, he can't die. It's just stupid. Like, there's moments where you think of Superman, you're like, oh, he's the winner. You know what I mean? He's the one that's going to kill everybody. Like, it makes sense, like, I like that they could take his character and make him super interesting in Man of Steel. And they made him really interesting in this movie too, even though he doesn't show up until like the last hour. Henry Cavill does great as Clark Kent. It's just awesome. Um, Another really quick thing, they give you a deeper dive into the characters too. The Flash and Cyborg are huge parts of this movie, and I gotta say, the guy who plays Cyborg, I'm spacing his name, but he is fantastic, man. Like, he is a great actor, and what's cool about Cyborg is he's mostly CGI, so hopefully we'll see more of him. The guy who played him, though, did a fantastic job, and his dad, too, in the movie was really good, and I'm just blanking out the names right now. Um, all in all, though, I like Snyder Cut. I personally, when I first watched the first Justice League, I left the theater wanting to vomit. I wanted to puke all over my girlfriend when we were watching it, and it wasn't because she looked awful or anything. It was because the fucking movie was terrible. I would give that movie like a 6.5, and I rate things pretty high. So I'd give the original 6.5, and I would give this one probably an 8.2, 8.0, if that's okay. It's a major improvement in my opinion. It's a huge improvement. So I think this is something fun you can sit down with if you want to like watch it with your kids. I think your kids would love it. You got every superhero from DC pretty much. There's even cameos from ones that you didn't even know were like even a thought in this whole universe right now. So it is a very cool movie. They changed up a lot of stuff. There's a lot of differences. It's actually kind of fun to watch the old one and like kind of vomit a little bit, and then watch this newer one and be like, wow, dude, this is fantastic. Like, it really is. So, yeah, that's pretty much the review. Thanks for watching. I hope everybody has a really good weekend. I tried to keep this as short as possible. I know it's almost 12 minutes now. I'm probably not going to edit much of this. It's kind of hard editing and everything like that, and I want to get this out soon. So my personal opinion, 8.0 to an 8.2. Pretty good movie with some pacing problems here and there, and the fact that it's open-ended and it probably won't go anywhere makes it a little hard to watch and devote that 4 hours to. All in all, though, I think they could really improve from here. I think it's just up from here, but with Warner Brothers and DC being in control of things, we're probably not going to get a good DC movie until the Suicide Squad reboot in September or the new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson. That's probably where things are going to start kicking off properly. All in all, though, I still think DC is a way, way, way deeper hole right, and is in a way deeper hole right now than they can get out of, to be honest with you. So, thanks for watching. Again, have a wonderful weekend. I hope everybody stays safe, and thanks for watching, guys. Thanks.